In this video, we'll be starting Chapter 17, and in Chapter 17, we will continue looking at special journals. In Section 1, we will be focusing on the purchasing journal, and Section 2, the cash payments journal. In Section 1, the main idea is to take a purchase journal and use to record credit purchases. So equipment, materials, whatever is needed in the business, we're going to look at what accounts are affected by this and what documents are used with this. So, key term for this one is a purchase journal. A purchase journal is a simple way for us to keep all transactions in which items are bought on account. So just as we looked in Chapter 16, where we focus on accounts receivable, in Chapter 17, we're looking at accounts payable, meaning that we're buying inventory, we're buying materials, we're making purchases on account to other businesses, from other businesses, and being able to put those into one document to keep track of what we're doing, and is known as the purchase journal. As you can see here, there's similarities from Chapter 16, but this one is focusing on accounts payable credit, purchases debit, and then it has a general column. Let's look at a few examples here. December 14th, starting line received invoice 7894 from Pro Runner Warehouse for merchandise purchase on account $2,300, and then they got some terms. This is what it would look like going into here. The date, the invoice, the creditor's account is all the same we've seen before. Accounts payable, this would also be affected. And then purchases debit. You only use this when you're referring to merchandise that is being purchased. So for this one, we would not use the general column. Now for the next example here, we have that store equipment was purchased. So what that would look like is everything similar 1 through 4, but we would not have purchases debit at all. We would be affecting store equipment. And that's why it says debit on that side, because in your different ledger accounts, the debit would be increased in store equipment and the accounts receivable would be credited $1,200 as well. Now, posting from a purchases journal. In the accounts receivable, we were able to just add all the totals near the end. But for this one is different. Since we're doing accounts payable, we need to know what companies we owe money to. So each transaction will be taken out and put into a certain account. So for example, for Pro Runner, this $2,300, this would be going into the accounts payable subsidiary account, just as we looked at accounts receivable subsidiary of $2,300. It'll identify what purchase journal it came from, the date, and the total amount. So this company owes $2,300. It's putting on credit into that accounts payable, and then the balance would also be $2,300. Now from there, posting from a general debit column. So we looked at doing it from purchase debit to accounts payable. Now we're focusing on that general debit column. So that store equipment we purchased for $1,200, where does that go? Well, in addition, it's going to have the date, it's going to have a description, post reference P12, and now since we purchase it, even though it's on account, we're going to increase our store equipment value. So we're going to add it to the debit, and then in the balance column, it would also add to it. Here is an overall of a purchase journal and all the different accounts. And as you can see here, the check mark for post references indicates that things have been transferred and information has been sent. If you go to page 489 in your book, you will be able to see a little more detail about the diagram we have here. But as we've done with the accounts receivable one, we are going to do the same thing as we did here. We're going to rule the line. We're going to put a total down there. And now we have total amounts for the general debit, the purchasing debit, and we also have accounts payable credit. Now, that information, how do you transfer that? And what accounts are affected by this? One, the accounts payable is obviously going to go into the accounts payable ledger. As you can notice, we're putting the total in there. We're not putting the individual accounts in there. We're just putting the total in the accounts payable. We would have already have done that, put it into the subsidiaries before. The next one is purchase debit, and this would identify all the purchases we do, especially merchandise that is there. And again, they're writing down the account numbers in the purchase journal so we know that they're going to the right accounts, and then we're transferring those balances over. That is the end of section 17.1, looking at purchasing journals.